Hello, welcome back. I'm just someone you know, and this is my review of the Switch 2. Now, I've had it for a few days now. I got it at launch, and I thought I'd share some opinions about it. So, first of all, just the graphics are beautiful. I've played some of the Zelda upscale, and it definitely looks better. Actually, the day I got the Switch 2, I immediately downloaded the 4K texture pack or whatever it is, and booted it up and beat the Great Plateau in one sitting, and that was pretty fun. I can't lie, that was good to come back to. I'm actually planning on playing some Animal Crossing, starting a new island up. I do apologize because there will be no Switch 2 footage in this review because I do not have a capture card for it yet. But with all that said, yeah, let's get into the graphics. Yeah, I haven't really noticed anything bad with them. Like, on the Switch, sometimes the graphics would be a little poor, and you kind of feel it. But with Switch 2, I don't really have those moments. For the past year or two, I've mainly been playing on Xbox because I was kind of done with the Switch after a while. So I was mostly playing Xbox for the past year and a half. And going from Xbox Series X to a Switch 2 isn't that jarring of a graphics downgrade. Yeah, it's very comparable in graphics to like one of the higher end Steam Decks. I'm very happy with how it looks. Then the next thing I was going to chat about is the controllers. So the problem with the Switch 2 controller is this grip is missing this bit right here where it rounds up to the controller, because how the Switch 2 controllers connect is from the side, so they have to slide in and click in. Where on the Switch 1 controller, it just slid off and on. That means using the grip is way less comfortable than the Switch 1 controller. So usually what I do is I just use the Stramps and play with the controller in each hand, because these controllers are much larger than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. So I can way more easily play like this with the wrist straps connected than with Switch 1 controllers. And these buttons here, don't know if it's gonna focus, so okay. These buttons here are much bigger, so you can more easily play it like NES controller. Where on Switch 1, the buttons were these tiny little things that you really needed the grip to be able to press. So, next thing I wanted to talk about were the mouse controls. So, as you can see if you're watching, the mouse controls are rather responsive, and I quite like them, honestly. I hope they don't get forgotten like the IR sensor on the Switch 1. These are very useful. Can't wait to use them in Metroid Prime 4. I'm gonna buy that game as soon as possible once it releases, because that looks so fun. But hope they add a free update to Prime 1 Remake so I can use the mouse and controller controls. I don't really have a good game to show them often, but oh wait, actually I do. So in Game Builder Garage, you can use the mouse controls to control the game. I'm not used to it yet, but this is all with mouse controls. I'm doing this all with mouse controls. Actually, is there like they didn't add mouse detection. Like you can see, it's very, and they can easily switch to just controller. So yeah, that's the mouse controls. Next, let's talk about some games. So I haven't bought Mario Kart World yet, which means all I've been playing over the past few days is some Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which with the expansions on NSO, because I have an expansion pack. And I can tell you that they play really well. I don't think there's lag in Tears of the Kingdom. There might be a little bit on Switch One. I mostly played on OLED, so maybe on the base model there's some lag. But there's been no lag so far on Switch 2. But speaking of NSO, we should probably discuss the elephant in the room. I've played the first section of Wind Waker so far, and I didn't notice any problems with the GameCube emulation. It's so far been just quite enjoyable experience. So I hope that they add Twilight Princess and Smash Bros. Melee soon. Those are the two top GameCube games I want on Switch. Oh, also, I want Metroid Prime 2. Because that seems pretty fun. I think that's all about the game stuff I wanted to talk about, which leaves just my final thoughts. So I played a bit on I have a Steam Deck, and I've been playing a bit on there before I got the Switch 2, and the Switch 2 feels a lot more polished than the Steam Deck. And just physically, it feels a lot less like a toy than the Switch. It really feels like the ultimate handheld gaming device. It's a little bit, it's got a bit of heft to it without feeling too heavy. It's nice and smooth and somewhat portable while still being big enough to be comfortable in the hands. And overall, it's just a very, very good console. Personally, I would have preferred if it was only $400, not $450. But I understand that they have to make some amount of money off it, and that probably wouldn't be profitable. But because the quality of image you can get out of the Switch is crazy. It's 4K. That's amazing. I was really just hoping for Ultra HD or something. But yeah, final things I'm going to talk about are, I have a couple concerns. First of all, they didn't patch, in the games that they've patched, they didn't add mouse support to the menus, which is concerning, because I do not want the mouse to just be a, little gimmick that no one uses. I want it to be an actual big thing. And there's not a lot of games at launch. With the Switch 1, I know it was the same way, but they launched that with Zelda Breath of the Wild. Well, with the Switch 2, they're launching it with Mario Kart World, which is a little smaller of a thing. But, it's just, I want it to be successful, and I'm afraid with all the negative PR that's been spun up that there's going to be some large hurdles that Nintendo has to get through. But yeah, that's my review of the Switch 2. I'd probably give it 8.5 out of 10. It's just as good as the Switch 1, it's I feel like compared to the Switch 1 at the time of release, it's about equal quality. So that's been the video. My next big video will probably be discussing my favorite Switch games. But I'll probably do a couple small unscripted videos. Not that this is scripted or anything. but this one had a lot more work and stuff put into it than my normal videos. So I'm gonna do like one of these big videos about once a week, and then a few smaller videos each week. So I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, liking, subscribing, commenting, or sharing with your friends would do wonders. And yeah, that's the video.